In this episode, we are talking about 2 sexual energy centers every woman has, and that is around your womb area and your heart. And this is so special because men only have 1 sexual energy center. So let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the podcast Manifesting Big Money Fast. My name is Jeanine. I am so excited that you found this podcast or that you're tuning in to another episode. This podcast is all about manifestation, big money, energetics, spirituality, how it's all connected, and most importantly, how you can increase your bank account right now. So let's dive in today's episode. I hope you've already signed up for my 3-day Pay What You Want masterclass happening June 19th till the 21st. And it's called Love Magnet, a masterclass on drawing in your ideal relationship. If you are interested in manifesting love and wealth, this masterclass is a must. Simply go to our website, courses.richandhappiness.com, and you can sign up. I see you soon. Welcome back, money lovers. I am beyond excited to re-record this podcast episode. I think in the last 5 years, I've recorded over, I would say, roughly 400 podcast episodes. And it never happened to me that I've only saved the intro and not the episode. So yesterday, I wanted to send my episode to the rest of the team for the next steps. And I realized, it's only 18 seconds. What happened? Amazing. So the universe guided me to have this conversation again. And I think it's a very powerful conversation we are going to have. And not many women actually know about this. And that is, we all know our chakras, our energy centers, and every person has them. However, we are also having sexual energy centers, I would call them, or sexual, points and energetic centers in our body through which we can experience an orgasm. And you may wonder, okay, Jeanine, why are we talking about sex, orgasms in a podcast that is about money? I deeply believe that money is energy. So in order to have more money, it's easy if I have access to more energy. And our sexual energy is so potent. If you think about it, our sexual energy creates life on this planet. So what actually would happen if I could tap into the sexual energy every single day and use it to create, to give birth, you could say, to something I truly desire? First of all, talking about sexual energy is almost like a little taboo topic. You know, in my book, I wrote about it. We have the dark sides talking about it so much when it comes to sex and money. On the money side, like all the scams. On the sexual side, it's all like the porn industry. And so many people believe and are actually having, I just call it porn sex. It's not even sexual activity. I don't know. It's like a rubbing to try to have an orgasm within seconds. There's so much pain, so much violence happening in porn. I remember when I did the research for the book and I was writing the forbidden chapters, the chapters which no publisher dared to publish. And I sold them separately, that I was watching porn probably for 2 weeks quite often. And it was so painful to watch. And that's why I think it is so important that we are having those conversations, because in the perfect ideal world, these are the conversations your grandma passed on to your mom passed on to you, and you will pass it on to your daughters. However, it's not happening because past generations didn't have as easily, I would say, access to this knowledge than we do today. So when we think about orgasm, and then we think, okay, a man obviously is having an orgasm through his penis. Exactly. It's 1 sexual energy center. That's why whenever you have sex with a man, the moment the penis is getting touched, it's like you feel it's like the full energy is there. It wouldn't matter if you touch any other body parts in general for any kind of sexual stimulation. And most literature, or at least back in the day, it was always men writing about sexuality and also how a man sees a female body, which is, just a fact on its own. It's already a bit silly. So when we think about a woman having an orgasm, most people believe, this only can happen through her vagina, through our womb area, our lower body parts. And this is false. This is one energetic center we have, sexual energetic center we have as women. However, we women also have another sexual energy center, and that is our breast. And it's very interesting. If you gently touch your nipples, it's very easily possible to receive an orgasm without being touched anywhere else. And when I learned about this and when I experienced this myself, I'm like, this is mind-blowing. No one has told me. And it's very interesting that many women, when they have cancer, or if they have cancer, they have breast cancer. And to me, the more I learned about it, the more it clicked. Because how often are you actually generally touching your breasts in a loving way? Not like some kind of rubbing way, not like, let me quickly put on a bra. Like, have you even ever received so much love or gave yourself so much love for your breasts to receive an orgasm through that? Very often the answer is no, or very, very little attention. And this is a huge sexual energetic center we have as women. So if we don't pay attention to it, it is in a way we are only focusing on one sexual energetic center, kind of like a man. What happens, we are kind of denying our feminine essence, which is happening in our breasts. And if you check the spiritual meaning for breast cancer, it actually very often states it's a denial of your feminine energy. And if you now connect the dots, is it really a surprise that so many women are having breast cancer? No. Because if I don't nurture my feminine essence, which is a huge part, nurturing my breast area, I'm denying this part. Instead, what we rather see, at least in the Western world, it's like, as a woman, this is even the worst. Get the biggest boobs possible so you can turn on men because they like big boobs. So now contemplate about what's happening here. As a woman, our second sexual energy center, our breast area. This is where we receive double the energy from. This is what makes us so magnetic. This is if a woman is connected to her heart and to the sexual energy center, like, you are magic on legs. This is a time when, like, we don't know why a woman is so magnetic. It's coming from this energetic center. So when you receive implants, breast implants, you're putting chemicals on the most important sexual energetic center you have as a woman. Let that sink in. And that's why personally I am no fan of breast implants. Yeah, it's the more I've learned about this, the more I'm like, oh wow, what's actually going wrong in our Western world? We've got some issues here. We got to go back to the roots to understand where we're coming from, why we're having different sexual energy centers, and how to nurture them, and why. So in today's episode, it is very important for me to understand, or to make sure you understand, let me put it like that you are magic on legs. You've got 2 sexual energy centers, your womb area, and of course, you can receive sexual orgasms through this part of the body, and there's another part. It's actually very interesting if, when having sex, many women told me, those conversations happens mostly in my one-on-one containers, to be honest, also told me the older they got, the more painful sex was for them, and they had a harder time to become wet. And it's very interesting because men deeply believe, and women as well, that in order for the vagina to open up and to receive the penis, this opening up process, this process of becoming wet as a woman, would happening through stimulation on the lower body parts. But it's not. It's happening through stimulation of the breast. So by a man has to touch is a non-negotiable in a genuine loving sexuality, without pain, without drama. The breast of a woman have to be stimulated first. This is how it's kind of like opening up Pandora's box. So what happens if women don't know this and can communicate it, if men don't know it and don't do it, every time a woman is having, I only want to call it sexual interaction, the system is in a drama state. So drama is being created and trauma is being stored in your cells. And can you see now, if you are having sex over years, which is not joyful, not pleasureful, which goes against kind of the natural stimulation of a female body, your body closes. Your body's like, I can't do this anymore. It's too painful. It's too painful. And very often the sexual drama that's stored in our cells is coming through past sexual experiences. And there are many amazing books on this topic, but one that really touched my heart was, Osho said something about orgasms or sex, and it was like, when having sex, like the orgasm is not what you should focus on or pay attention to. You should pay attention to how you feel after sex, after having an orgasm. Because pay attention to this is very interesting. So what happens very often, this at least happened to me in the past, I very often was super sad. I cried. I didn't know what was happening. And this made me study. This made me, I'm like, okay, I want to understand where this is happening from, because I wasn't raped. But on a cell level, on a cellular level in my body, I was raped over and over again, and I allowed it to happen. Because I didn't know better. So pay attention next time when you have sex, how you feel afterwards. And you may ask now, how is this all connected? First of all, I'm promoting this program in every single podcast episode this month. You have to join She Loves, because we're going into all the different states where we may have received this kind of trauma. And we're doing the work of letting go of the trauma and creating new cellular experiences. And this is so important when it comes to business and money to do this work. Very early, I said, having my own business and doing this work of increasing my consciousness has been the most rewarding thing. And at the same time, it's bringing all freaking things I stored in my subconscious in my basement I didn't want to have a look at to the front. And that can be so scary. That can be so freaking scary. And I know probably in the last, I would say 3 years, when I've started this work of learning more about feminine essence, feminine energetics, and what that actually means, and how to anchor this and how to embody this in my daily life, on this path was also sex, sexual activities, learning more about this. Because I knew from the beginning, I like sex, but not the way it's shown or demonstrated in the Western world. It was just so painful so often. I just felt I'm used. My body was used. And I'm like, this can't be it. There has to be more to it. And whenever we ask for more, the universe sends us on a path. To sum up, this embodying a healthy sexuality, embodying a sexual, or let me put it like this, embodying, receiving natural, healthy sexual energy as a woman makes you, first of all, so magnetic to your outside world, but so freaking fast in your manifestations. When we are talking about the frequency of manifesting big money fast is happening on the frequency of sexual energy. And sexual energy is only the energy of creation, is not only the energy of orgasms. There's so much more to it. So much more. And I hope this podcast episode is just a little tipping point for you to learn and study more about this. Because whatever you've experienced in the past, trust me, there's so much more to it. And you will be surprised as if you start healing more and more areas of your body part, of your life and of your body, how freaking fast of a manifester you're coming. And that's why I love the frequency of fast, because it's my natural birthright. But in order to be on that frequency, I have to let go of things which are not serving me. And that also means we got to face areas in our life which maybe we don't desire to face right now. Anything health related, food, workout, sex, spirituality, depth, emotional mastery. These are all things, let's be honest, no one wakes up and is like, oh my gosh, let me master the area of sexuality today. Let me tune in, feel, reflect on all the sexual activity I had and how this can become a new experience. I think there has to be more to it. It's not what's happening. But I deeply believe we are at a part in our society where, let's be honest, we got to face those topics. It's not only money. Got to face other topics. And sex, sexual activity, the trauma, the pain that's been created in this industry, especially through the porn industry, we got to heal. We got to face it. Because it's not natural. And it's not nice for women and to women. And it's also not nice for men or to men. What's happening? I love you. I talk to you soon. And if you haven't signed up for She Loves, do it. It's so transformative, this program. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast Manifesting Big Money Fast. I've got 3 very important announcements for you. First, if you like what you're listening, make sure you leave some gratitude, leave a review, share the podcast. Second, if you love what you're listening to and you want more of that, there is a VIP version available. That means you will have access to 3 podcast episodes every single week. Simply check out the store, courses.richandhappiness.com, or the link in the show notes. And lastly, there are always monthly money activations happening around the new moon and full moon. If that is something you're interested, check out the store for the next money activation. I love you and I can't wait to see your beautiful face soon again.